Nation of Fitin10, it is day 14, and we are officially at the 20% mark. Can you believe it? The 20% mark. This thing goes by super fast. These 10 weeks, you know, it reminds me of when I was in university, and it was my first semester in university. And I think we were like, I think we were in the third week or something like that. And the professor said, starting the third week, and he said, oh, you know, next week is, you know, your midterm, just FYI. And I was like, what? Like, I haven't even cracked my book. I haven't looked at my notes. I don't even know anything. Like, it was like still like my first day. It felt like my first day to me. And anyways, I got crushed that first semester of university for sure. Because certainly high school did not prepare me for it. So I want to remind you guys, we got to dive in and we got to take advantage. And, you know, I do believe that if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. Okay. So it's not too late if you're still struggling, you know, if you're still spinning your wheels, if you're still afraid to, you know, to especially with the food aspect of this. Let's get our wheels in motion. Let's get the gears set, and let's just do this, okay? Because this time goes by very fast. So just take advantage and just do it. Okay, it's not that hard, to be honest with you. It's really not that hard. It's probably not as hard as you think it is. All right, I'm going to continue from where I did yesterday. Just a note about the carbohydrates that are going to be more satiating. Although potatoes don't really fall in this category, but generally carbohydrates that are a little bit higher in fiber too will be more satiating. All right, so berries are high in fiber. An apple is higher in fiber. You know, yam is, you know, higher in fiber than, you know, potatoes got very little fiber. Oatmeal, like I mentioned yesterday, these are going to tend to be a little more satiating, but like I said, carbohydrates on their own, they digest quite fast. You know, the digestion actually, for carbohydrates, the digestion starts in the mouth. So we've got, I think it's called, what is it, salivary amylase that we excrete in the mouth, and this starts the digestion of carbohydrates, or most carbohydrates in the mouth. So digestion starts right here. That doesn't happen with fat or protein. Okay, is there anything you'd like me to cover in this week's video series? I'm wondering if we do more exercise on the cardio days that you ask, does that allow us to add in extra nutritional food? Or should we stick with what we are doing? No, I'm going to suggest that you stick with what you're doing. If you want to do more exercise, you can do that. That's fine. But the whole premise of this challenge is to show you that, you know, moderate level of exercise, including resistance training, and I say that because resistance training is often, you know, not associated with weight loss, and a moderate, you know, a reasonable amount of food, you can, with all that put together, you can lose a significant amount of body fat. That's the whole point of this, okay? So it's not about, you know, not eating. It's not about, you know, doing a tremendous amount of exercise. It's not about these extremes that you can't sustain and then, you know, you just, you know, I really want to get diet and exercise, or at least diet or weight loss more specifically. That's really what I should be saying. Fat loss, let's be very specific here. Fat loss as something that's not that hard to really attain. It's easy to maintain a lower percentage of body fat. It's not hard. You just got to keep at it. And if you're going to keep at it, like I said, it's got to be reasonable and of course consistent, right? So so I wouldn't suggest doing more. If you want to do more exercise, you can. Do not change your food. Do not start adding in food and doing more exercise. And let's not go down that road. Okay, just keep things where they're at. If you want to do a little bit extra cardio or whatever, if you do some, you know, some sort of intramural sports or something, team sports, something like that, have at her, okay? If you want to throw that on top, go ahead. The extra energy expenditure is only going to help you, but we're not going to add in more food, okay? You have plenty of food. How am I doing for time here? Okay, I'm doing great. So, let's move along. All right, this person writes, I need help with understanding how the intervals work for the cardio portion. All right, so this is explained in detail in your manual, but I'll go through it quickly here again, and if you need help, then reach out to me personally. We can sit down. So for your cardio, you've got a lower heart rate and a higher heart rate, okay? The first 10 minutes, you're just gonna work on getting your heart rate up to that lower rate and then maintain it, okay? It should only take you maybe, depending on the strenuousness of what you're doing, it's gonna take you somewhere around maybe 30 seconds to a minute or something like that to get your heart rate up to that point, that lower rate, okay? If it's really fast for you to get it up there or whatever, don't worry about how long I'm telling you should take, okay? Just get your heart rate to that point, that lower point. Do that for 10, so let's just say it's, 120 beats per minute. You're gonna do, 120 beats per minute for 10 minutes, and then when your intervals start, you're gonna do 20 seconds of higher intensity to get your heart rate up to that second number, right? That higher number that I gave you, so let's just say it's 150 beats per minute. So you're gonna do as hard as you can go to get your heart rate by the end of the 20 seconds up to 150. And then the down phase of 40 seconds is the same intensity that you use during your warm-up, during that 10 minutes of the 120. Okay, so you're probably not gonna get your heart rate back down to 120, that's okay. Once 40 seconds is up, you do your 20 seconds again hard, and then 40 seconds lower, and you just keep repeating that for the amount of intervals that I've given you. The remainder of the time is spent at that lower rate, okay? But this is explained, I think, in enough detail in your manual that I gave you, okay? So if you need more help with it, let me know. I just don't wanna bore people with this because I know a lot of people have a hang of it. Okay, let's see, can I squeeze in another one here? Okay, this person has really nothing to say. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get to the message of the day because we're already at 7 minutes and I know I can ramble. So let's do that. Okay, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning, to be honest with you. And I didn't know this was the message of the day, to be honest. I just open it up and see. So you can't find time, you must make time for what matters. You can't find time, you must make time for what matters. I guarantee, just ask yourself, what are some things that you are really, really important to your life? How do you get them done? Because you make time for it. You prioritize it. You're like, no, I'm making this happen. So, I don't know what else to say when it comes to execution on this. If it's important enough to you, you'll do it. If it's not, you won't. And again, it's not a judgment call on my part. It's just, you can make whatever excuses you want for yourself. But, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying this is just the reality. And sometimes we need to hear this. I need to hear this for many things. We can make many excuses. Many times I'll say something to myself and I'll be like, you just make excuses. So, just if you don't want to do it, that's up to you, right? But if it matters to you, then just do it. Okay, just execute. It's not that hard. In the beginning, it might be a bit harder, but once you get the hang of it, it's gonna be much easier, okay? All right, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself. For the love of God, give some gratitude, and I'll talk to you very soon. See you guys.